Okay, let's wait for 2 more minutes and see how many people are joining. After that, we'll start. Okay. All right. So let's start. Scientific study is nothing but a part of a research only. So research we do for what? Is basically to give some basis, numerical value या तो फिर कुछ prove करने के लिए हम लोग research करते हैं. When we give a numerical value, it is more valid. किसी का verbal ठीक है, like for example now in योग मैं कुछ बताऊंगी, मेरा कुछ अलग एक्सपीरियंस होगा, किसी और का कुछ अलग एक्सपीरियंस होगा. But when we try to give a numerical value, it becomes little more concrete because numbers cannot change very easily, right? Let me open the file. Okay. All right. Let me just share it. Okay. Can you see the screen? Hello?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
see.
yes, we can see.
All right. Let it load a little. It's on the website actually when I download kiya, but it's not opening there. Okay.
Yeah, we can see the first slide.
Can you all see the PDF that I opened?
Yes.
It's, right? It's
First-
moving, right?
First, no, we can see only the first slide.
Okay.
Scientific study, what, why, how.
Okay, just a minute. I'll reshare. Now I opened the PDF. Okay. All right. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. Okay. So what is a scientific study? It's basically an answer to a research problem or something that doesn't have a solution till now. Okay. So right now when we do research in yoga, it will be something that we'll be proving. Okay. We don't use the word prove actually. It's just in layman language, I'm telling you that we'll be proving what is there in our Shastra or the yogic texts. Okay. So, for example, now how Rishikeshan sir was saying that शीतली and शीतकारी will give a cooling effect. अभी ये शास्त्र में लिखा है, लेकिन हमें भी एक्सपीरियंस होता है, लेकिन क्या सबको एक्सपीरियंस होता है? We don't know that. When we talk to 2-3 people, we'll know. But in this world, there are so many people. How will we give it a standardized thing? How will we generalize it with people? So to generalize it, we have to do a research, okay, on a good number of people. So there are few terms that we need to understand here, starting with variables. Okay, variables are of mainly of two types: independent variable and dependent variable. Okay, so independent variable is something that is the main thing. For example, योग. Dependent variable will be something जिसका हमें effect देखना है. It's like a cause and effect relation with each other. For example, if I give yoga will have some effect on self-esteem of adolescents. Okay, so here yoga was the independent variable. उस पे कुछ फर्क नहीं है. Okay, it is going to give some effect on self-esteem which is dependent on the independent variable. Self-esteem right now while measuring is dependent on this thing, yo, right? Is that clear or कुछ jumble हो रहा है? Hello?
Understood.
Once again.
Understood.
All right.
Repeat once again.
Once again, repeat please.
Yeah. All right. Now there are two main types of variables: independent variable and dependent variable. Now independent variable is just there as it is. Okay, for example, yoga out here or meditation, anything. Now, dependent variable will be something which is going to give its result based on the independent variable. So, for example, we take this thing as meditation will give its positive results in insomnia. Okay, so now that insomnia is the dependent variable on meditation, because insomnia will be vanished after doing meditation. That is what we are trying to prove. So it is dependent on something. वो इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं है, वो खुद से नहीं है कि इंसोम्निया खुद से चला जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं. इट इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन मेडिटेशन राइट नाउ. नाउ देयर आर टू मोर टाइप्स ऑफ वेरिएबल्स, दैट इज कंफाउंडिंग वेरिएबल एंड कंट्रोल्ड वेरिएबल. ओके, नाउ कंट्रोल वेरिएबल मतलब क्या, अभी दो ग्रुप्स है. ओके, दोनों के वहां पे हम लोग एनवायरमेंट कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, समथिंग लाइक दैट. फॉर एग्जांपल, वी आर टेकिंग टू ग्रुप्स, वन इज गिवन मेडिटेशन to cure insomnia, the other group has got nothing but maybe journaling or something to cure insomnia. Okay, journaling wala jo group rahega, that also has to be in a quiet environment where it is, there's no dim light or something. अच्छा, well lit है, well ventilated. Same thing with meditation. अभी meditation में भी quiet होना चाहिए, कोई आवाज नहीं होना चाहिए, लाइटिंग बराबर होना चाहिए, वेंटिलेशन बराबर होना चाहिए. दोज आर कंट्रोल वेरिएबल्स, यू हैव टू कंट्रोल देम. नाउ सम आर कंफाउंडिंग वेरिएबल्स. नाउ फॉर एग्जांपल, मेडिटेशन के टाइम पे उसको बहुत जोर से छींक आ गई, उसका ध्यान इधर उधर जाएगा. उसको पैर में क्रैम्प आया, अगेन ध्यान उधर जाएगा. समटाइम्स बिफोर कमिंग फॉर द मेडिटेशन सेशन, that person fought with their spouse or the child, got angry on the child, वो दिमाग में चल रहा है. That is another confounding variable. Confounding variables are things that you cannot control all the time. Okay, the same thing for journaling. Maybe while writing, she doesn't have a habit of writing, or he doesn't have a habit of writing, hand starts paining. That is the confounding variable that disturbs her in writing. She is not able to write enough. Okay, these were the four types of variable. उसमें से ये दो सबसे ज्यादा important है, independent and dependent. Now research design. Now there are types of researches. Okay, now there can be an experimental research, there will be theoretical research. Experimental research में you will have randomized control design, एक जो sir ने बोला. There can be pre-test post-test design. Now pre-test post-test means repeated measure बोल सकते हैं कि एक ही group है. Before giving the yogic intervention or meditative intervention, we take a test. After the intervention, we take another test to see the progress. Okay, for example, yoga and self-esteem. Before giving that intervention, self-esteem का एक questionnaire देंगे उनको, उनका scoring करेंगे. उसके बाद we'll give them the intervention for about 30 days, let's say, or 21 days. After 21 days are over, we will give another test of the same questionnaire. Okay, self-esteem questionnaire. We'll see their progress. Is it the same? Has it reduced or has it increased? Okay, now randomized control design is very, like important and very concrete design. वो अगर हम लोग करते हैं, that means our research is very strong. In randomized control design, what we do, for example, we want 120 participants. 60 will come in group A, 60 will come in group B. Now, how to decide who will come in group A and group B? That will be by generalized method. Randomly किसी को भी कोई भी ग्रुप में डालना है, या तो चिट सिस्टम से करो. They pick up a chit, group 1 लिखा है उसमें के group 2 लिखा है, या तो lottery system is the same thing, the chit thing. There are softwares that will assign them in different groups as a whole. By these many people, irrespective of their age, gender, whatever, they will go in group 1, others will go in group 2. Now they will be given two different things. One will be given the actual intervention, the other will be not given any intervention or something else. Okay, now for example, it's like those tablets. Whenever any tablet has to come in the market, they do this. One will give the actual tablet to group A, the other group will be given a placebo or a sugar coated tablet. उसमें कुछ नहीं होता, वो सिर्फ ग्लूकोज का पिल जैसा बोल सकते हैं हम लोग. So then they will see what are the results in both the groups. and then it will be analyzed. We come to tools and subscales. This is mostly used in psychology actually, but since we have that thing in yoga as well in the next semester, I included that so that it becomes easier to understand when it comes next. Yes, Sejal.
Dhwani, if you are changing the slide, we are not able to see the slide. I just wanted to tell you.
You all can see terms to remember on my screen right now.
Yes.
हाँ, उसमें third point पे हम लोग tools and subscales. मैंने थोड़ा zoom कम किया so that you all can see the whole thing. I'll increase the zoom in.
Dhwani, how can you relate with that the placebo effect which you were talking about related to yoga? So what will be the placebo effect for in terms of yoga? What will be given?
Okay. So what we'll do is, for example, I recently came across this thing where they give harmonica as a therapy for lungs. Okay. I was recently reading, I think yesterday or day before yesterday. So what we'll do is, जिनको भी COPD है, chronic, what I forgot the full form. It's Bhavna ji, if you can.
Obstructive.
हाँ, the whole बोलेंगे आप एक बार?
Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Yeah, exactly. So उसमें थोड़ा breathing का issue रहता है. So harmonica से क्या होगा? Lungs का capacity बढ़ाएंगे. So in that intervention, what they were giving is that there's a big screen, okay? Projector पे holes दिखा है harmonica पे जैसे रहते हैं. Arrows दिखा है कहाँ पे blow करना है, कहाँ पे draw करना है. Okay? To all those who don't know what is harmonica, it's a mouth organ जो शोले movie में वो लोग use कर रहे थे. Okay? So what they do is, in one group, they gave that intervention. If next 21 days or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever period you all choose, उतने time के लिए हार्मोनिका हम लोग regular practice करेंगे. Group 1 को, Group 2 को कोई intervention नहीं, उनको सिर्फ medication पे रखा था. No physiotherapy, nothing. Harmonica is kind of a physiotherapy for them as of now, at that point. So then they chose, placebo मतलब वही हुआ अभी के लिए. अभी medicine में placebo हो सकता है, लेकिन harmonica वाले example में placebo नहीं होता. They don't get anything at all. That is randomized control. Placebo is something that you give other than that. Now, for example, there is this web series Big Bang Theory. Okay, उसमें एक character है Dr. Rajesh Kutrapali. He cannot talk to women without drinking. Okay, alcohol के बिना वो बात नहीं कर सकता. Now that person, it's just a hypothetical series. Okay, so that person took non-alcoholic beer without knowing. Still, he could talk under an impression कि वो alcoholic beer है. Okay, so that is kind of a placebo. Right now, for yoga, we may not have placebo, as a whole, because tablets नहीं है हमारे पास. We have such interventions. तो उसके लिए intervention रहेगा group A के लिए और group B के लिए नहीं रहेगा, or maybe there will be something other than yoga, not at all related to yoga. Okay, all right. Now we come to tools and subscales. Tools and subscales मतलब questionnaires हो गए, या तो those instruments are also one correct term. For example, we are checking blood pressure after Sheetli Sheetkari. So that sphygmomanometer is a tool at that time. Suppose हम लोग weight check करने वाले हैं, तो weighing scale is the tool. Now, here in psychology, tools and subscales मतलब एक questionnaire है, उसके 4 subscales रहते हैं. For example, I had conducted a research last year for my dissertation, which was on work performance. So work performance had a subscale of task performance. अगर मेरा टॉपिक टास्क परफॉर्मेंस रहता तो वो मैं सबस्केल यूज करती, लेकिन मेरा एज अ होल वर्क परफॉर्मेंस था, तो उसके 3 पार्ट्स में से एक टास्क परफॉर्मेंस. सो इट्स अ सबस्केल. आफ्टर द प्रेजेंटेशन इज ओवर, ऑनलाइन मैं आपको दिखाऊंगी कि वो सबस्केल दिखता कैसे है. ओके, नाउ दी स्टैटिस्टिकल मेथड्स आर नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट एज ऑफ नाउ, but just keep these little terms in mind, because next year if you are doing an experimental research for running the stats, you will have to do it. One is t-test, another is correlation, and the third is ANOVA, which is analysis of variance. Just remember them if you want to. If not, let it go. Yes, Bhavna.
Like you said, subscale matlab jaise, if there are 3 things in my mind, that 3 things are changing. That is my, whatever my motto would be, whatever my sentence question would be, Relating to that, I will select a stool for checking, right?
Exactly.
So if it is blood pressure, then the sphygmomanometer is on the top. That is the first one.
Yeah.
And then, the heart rate would be second.
Hmm.
The third would be like, he could, there was no any something like his respiration was not high.
Hmm.
So these are the three parts of this blood pressure only. So
Right.
what we are talking is that subscale.
No, in psychology, there's a questionnaire. Okay, not all questionnaires will have subscales. Very few will have. एक ही questionnaire में 5 अलग type के scales रहते हैं. Okay, they measure 4 different things, 5 different things. So if there are 5 different things, out of which if my research needs only one of those different things, I'll take that part from the scale. That is the subscale. Okay.
These are pre-made, already
Yeah. They are pre-made by good authors. They are good psychologists or researchers.
Okay.
They are standardized, generalized, good reliability, good validity.
And they
That
are
all will
accepted
come.
all over universally.
Yes, they have done full concrete thing. पहले pilot study करना पड़ता है, फिर एक demo होता है, फिर एक होता है. It's a long procedure. Let's not get into that as of now. Okay. Now statistical methods सिर्फ कान में वो शब्द रखना है. Hello. सुभाष जी एक बार म्यूट करके फिर से अनम्यूट कीजिए. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said Borg scale. BORGS.
I have not heard about that. Sorry.
Okay, so it is after the after any activity whatever you do, so the exertion which can be felt by each person, so it's called Borg scale. It is from 1:10. तो अलग अलग कलर से रिलेटेड, या तो अभी आप देखो ना फेयर एंड लवली का भी रहता है, वो शेड रहता है ना कि कितना स्किन डार्क है.
No, that is
तो
not
सब
the
चीजें भी,
scale. No. Scale
वो भी
मतलब यहाँ
आएगा
पे scale as in a questionnaire only. Tool बोलो, scale बोलो, questionnaire बोलो, तीनों एक चीज है.
हाँ, तो क्वेश्चनर के थ्रू ही होता है कि आपको कितना ब्रेथलेस फील हो रहा है. इफ ही इज डूइंग अ थ्रेडमिल, सपोज ही इज डूइंग अ वॉकिंग, तो उसके बाद में ना आपको कितना स्ट्रेस फील हो रहा है. 1:10 में आर यू फीलिंग 5 और 4 और 3, ऐसा वो पूछते हैं.
I'll show a tool which has a subscale. एक बार देखेंगे
Okay.
तो आपको भी आइडिया आएगा, because I actually don't know exactly what you're talking about. मैंने कभी वो देखा नहीं है, that's why. So I'll just show after the presentation is over. Okay. Now research should also have appendices. So वो क्या है कि हम लोग ने जो भी questionnaire या तो tools use किए, उसका सब डिटेल वो appendix में आना चाहिए. And SPSS is a software जिसपे statistics हम लोग करते हैं. Okay. It's right now it's not very important because we don't have to conduct. Next semester या उसके बाद वाले में हमें चाहिए रहेगा. Okay. Now, what is a good research topic? So the topic should be unique. Okay. There should be at least 2 variables, obviously, because एक measure करने के लिए भी कुछ चाहिए, और दोनों variables में कुछ connection होना चाहिए. Okay. Now, since yoga is a very big topic, most of the things are connected to it. Okay. But there will be certain things which are not connected. Okay. And a good research topic should be a problem statement. For example, starting में I had said yoga and self-efficacy. If we take those 2 variables, we can say that yoga will have some effect on self-efficacy. Okay. It's like a problem statement. क्या योग का कोई effect होगा self-efficacy पे, like that. Okay. So now, how do we start with the research? So what we do first thing is we finalize the topic. एक बार टॉपिक नक्की हो गया, we have to plan how we want to do the research, with whom we want to do the research, and when do we want to do the research. Okay. And then we start writing a paper. Okay. Now we all can see how, and continued wala slide on the screen. Yes. Okay. So now once we have confirmed the topic, for example, workplace mindfulness and work performance in private sector employees. Okay, mindfulness and work performance. Now confirm your participants. अभी मैंने यहाँ पे बोल दिया private sector employees. दैट इज माई पार्टिसिपेंट्स। अभी एम्प्लॉयज में 18 से 55 या 60 इयर्स के सब लोग होते हैं, बट आई विल चूज यंग अडल्ट्स विच इज 20 to 35 or 40. Okay, now that is my participant, young adults. Now what we do is we prepare a survey or send a standardized questionnaire. This is the part where we collect data. Okay, now a standardized questionnaire हमें कहाँ से मिलेगा? वो हमें ऑनलाइन मिलेगा, एटलीस्ट नाम मिलेगा। नाम मिलने के बाद उसके ऑथर्स मिलेंगे, वो ऑथर के ईमेल एड्रेस पे हमें उनको ईमेल करना है दैट वी वांट टू यूज अ क्वेश्चनर फॉर एकेडमिक पर्पस एंड वी विल टू शेयर द रिजल्ट्स विथ यू लेटर सो दैट वी गेट इट फॉर फ्री, अदरवाइज वो खरीदना पड़ता है। 2500-3000 का एक क्वेश्चनर आता है वो। So we should talk to the author and get. Some are readily available. For example, now workplace mindfulness का scale जो था, someone's audio is on. Alright. Workplace mindfulness questionnaire I had got readily available. Work performance का I had to talk to the author and get it. Okay? So once
Binoy, mute करो ना Binoy.
So now this is basically what I had done for psychology. अभी योग के लिए अगर हम लोग कर रहे हैं, so we need not have a questionnaire. Okay, not necessarily. अगर हम लोग कोई psychology का term ले रहे हैं तो ठीक है, उसके लिए questionnaire ठीक है, but योग के लिए we will need other tools. As I said, blood pressure machine है, weighing scale है, pulse oximeter है वगैरह. So all those things we may need. अभी MRI machine है, EEG machine है. Those are out of our caliber as of now because we are students. हमें कोई use करने नहीं देगा. We may have to pay them, and I'm not sure who will be ready to pay. So whenever we take questionnaires, it becomes easy because वो सब paper है जो हमें लोगों को देना है. It's either that or send it as a Google form, and people will fill it. वो automatically एक Excel sheet में आ जाएगा. So now let's assume हमारा data collect हो गया 120 participants. Okay. By the time the data is getting collected, what we have to do is we write the introduction. We write the review of literature. Abhi review of literature will be written with the help of previous researchers. जो भी previous research हुआ है उसे देख के हम लोग एक review of literature लिखेंगे. There should be at least 15 research for one variable. अगर 2 variable है तो 30 researches होंगे. उसका एक ऐसे फॉर्मेट में लिख सकते हैं या पैराग्राफ्स में लिख सकते हैं. I will show that as well once the presentation is over. Okay, we write the rationale. Now, rationale is very important when it comes to defending a research. जो भी external examiner होगा वो पूछेगा हमें, भाई why did you do this research? What was your reason? अभी इतना सारा stress पे research हो गया है. Why did you again do it? For example. Okay, so we should have an answer for that. Rationale is nothing but your reason to do the research. For example, when I did research on grit, okay, it's passion and perseverance towards your work. It's a psychology term, GRIT, grit. Okay, so when we do, when he asked me why I did I did on grit, I was like, very less research was done on this. Taking something that has not been measured, it is very important. Because someone has to do it. अभी आप बोलोगे नहीं उस पे research नहीं हुआ है, हम लोग review of literature कैसे करेंगे? But someone has to do it for the next review of literature, right? So that is what you can put in a rationale. That it was not a topic that was readily chosen by other researchers. Okay. Now hypothesis. Now this is very important. Writing an hypothesis is extremely important in your research. अभी हाइपोथेसिस क्या होता है? वो एक स्टेटमेंट है जो आपको एक्सेप्ट या रिजेक्ट करना है, लाइक अ प्रूविंग स्टेटमेंट. प्रूविंग इज अगेन अ वेरी लेमैन टर्म दैट आई एम यूजिंग. वो एक ऐसा स्टेटमेंट है जो हमें एक्सेप्ट या रिजेक्ट करना है, एज आई टोल्ड अर्लियर. तो अभी उसमें टाइप्स ऑफ हाइपोथेसिस है. ओके, वन इज अ डायरेक्शनल हाइपोथेसिस, वन इज अ नॉन डायरेक्शनल हाइपोथेसिस और एक कोरिलेशनल हाइपोथेसिस है. Okay, and the fourth type is null hypothesis. Okay, now what is a directional hypothesis? Directional hypothesis can be positive or negative. Now for example, yogasan will have a significant positive difference on self-esteem. This is a positive directional hypothesis. Okay, direction दिया कि difference होगा, पॉजिटिव डिफरेंस होगा उस पे. नाउ व्हाट इज अ नेगेटिव directional hypothesis? Yogasan will have negative significant difference on insomnia. Okay? Insomnia घटेगा वो, right? Now that is a negative directional hypothesis. Now what is a non-directional hypothesis? अभी हमें पता नहीं है कि मत्स्येंद्रासन करने से डायबिटीज पे कुछ असर होगा. Let's assume कि हमें नहीं पता, हमने बुक्स नहीं पढ़े. So मत्स्येंद्रासन will have significant difference on diabetes. Okay, we are not giving positive or negative. We don't know what is going to be the difference. It is a non-directional hypothesis. Now, what is a correlational hypothesis? Now, correlation मतलब दो variable के बीच में relation. For example, now if I have two independent variables, Yogasan is the two dependent variables. Sorry. Now, Yogasan is the independent variable जो हमारा intervention रहने वाला. अभी सेल्फ एस्टीम के साथ इंसोम्निया वाज माय डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल. अभी वो दोनों डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल में क्या कोई कोरिलेशन है? दैट इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू फाइंड. सो इट कैन आइदर बी सेल्फ एस्टीम इज पॉजिटिवली कोरिलेटेड विद इंसोम्निया, सेल्फ एस्टीम इज नेगेटिवली कोरिलेटेड विद इंसोम्निया. आइडियली नेगेटिवली ही लिखेंगे हम लोग. आई वाज जस्ट गिविंग एग्जांपल कि वो पॉजिटिव या नेगेटिव में लिख सकते हैं. Okay, so that is the correlation hypothesis. That is only between the dependent variables. Okay, remember that. Now method. अभी method में पहले तो participants. Now people sometimes say sample. अभी sample is not a very good term these days क्योंकि they are not, like, people are not guinea pigs right now. Okay, so we will say participants. People who participate in your study. They can be senior citizens. They can be adults, young adults, adolescents, children, toddlers. Okay, whatever you want to choose. You will give age limit to that. If you're taking adolescents, it is like 13 to 17, 18 something. And young adults है तो 18 to 35 रहेगा. उसके बाद का adults आएगा, उसके बाद senior citizens आएगा. Now you can even have gender, okay, in this. If you want to do a study specifically with females only, specific with males only, specifically with LGBTQ. Okay, so you can choose in that way. Now variables हम लोग ने देख लिया, independent and dependent variable. Research design हम लोगों ने देख लिया, randomized control design हुआ, repeated measures design हुआ. Operational definition is nothing but definition of the tools and the variables. Okay, so tools are nothing but those questionnaires that I spoke about or those machines that we will use. Abhi procedure. Hello. Someone's mic is on? No? All right. I heard something. Okay. Procedure is very important. Now in this, when you're giving the proposal, it will be in future tense. Okay. Now, once the research is completed, you will be doing it in the past tense. Okay. Procedure में क्या करेंगे? First we'll write who is a participant, as in one line. Okay, not like how we wrote earlier. Participants का पूरा एक paragraph नहीं लिखना है, एक line में. After that we'll write कि how we conducted the whole research. Now अगर questionnaire वाला है, so we can say that we sent the questionnaire via Google Forms. They or we can even say they filled it in front of us so that it's more authentic, and then the results were analyzed and then we wrote the discussion. The participants were very enthusiastic throughout the intervention, and yeah, so that's about that. So पूरा procedure कैसे किया? तो वो लोग अंदर आए रूम में, आपने intervention दिया, फिर वो लोग बाहर गए, वो पूरा एक procedure लिखना है. Statistical analysis अभी के लिए we will not focus on, and ethical consideration is very important. Now when ethical consideration comes, you have to mention that it was confidential. You cannot be talking about those things to others. Okay, participants will come only on one condition, that you are not going to open their things up. Okay, that is one thing. There will be like list of 4 or 5 points. I will send those across. Okay, I have written them somewhere in my notebook, like wo dhoond ke I will send it, so don't worry about that. But it's basically उनका consent लेना है और कुछ reveal नहीं करना है. Okay. Then we come to analyzing the results. Okay, so that is done through the software if it's a questionnaire. Otherwise, if it's a qualitative research, मतलब questionnaire नहीं है, सिर्फ question answer लिया है, so we just write down those things. Then we write the discussion. Now this is the heart and soul of your research paper. Discussion should be very precise, very detailed as well. कुछ time pass बातें नहीं लिखना है, लेकिन pure details देना है. कि how did you conduct the whole thing? What were the different इसका mic on? Please keep it on mute now. विनोद जी आप mute कर सकेंगे उनको, host है तो. All right. So when it comes to writing the discussion, there will be small details that the participant must have mentioned.
आप ही होस्ट हो, आप कर सकते हैं, आप ही होस्ट हो. अभी
लेकिन
मैं
मेरे
नहीं हूँ.
स्क्रीन पे वो नहीं आ रहा है.
अच्छा.
हाँ, that's right. All right. So what happens is, for example, if you're giving an intervention of Matsendra Asan, initially अगर उसका आदत नहीं है योग प्रैक्टिस करने का उतना, they practice like twice a week or something, they may feel some muscle soreness after doing those practices. Okay, write about that also in your discussion, that for the first 3-4 days the participants felt muscle soreness. Gradually it was relieved and everything. Write that 1 second, I have to connect the charger. So write all the minute details. There will be times the participant says that yes, I slept very well, sound sleep. Write that as well. Positive ho ya negative ho, likhna hi hai. Don't think that that will hamper your research, but it will give good concreteness to your research. Okay. Once our discussion is done, discussion में जो भी हम लोग का result मिला है वो भी discuss करेंगे. So for example, जो example हम लोग ने starting में लिया था self efficacy का, तो उसमें participant comes and tells you that yes, I mean the questionnaire gives you this answer that self efficacy has increased. वो एक graphical form में भी आपने represent किया होगा like a bar graph or a histogram. Usually bar graph use करते हैं. So what happens there is जो भी plot किया है, you have to talk about those graphs as well. Okay, that comes in discussion. Conclusion will be very short, barely like 5 lines. कि हम लोग ने ये research इन लोगों पे ये time पे conduct किया and these were the results. That's it. Now limitation is another important thing in your research. What happens in limitations is that obviously our research is not up to the mark. हम लोग ने सिर्फ 120 participants यहाँ पे लिया, but is that enough for the whole world? No. So we can say that maybe the participant size can be increased, the variables can be increased, or research design can be changed. Like that we can say. Statistical method also can be changed. वो सब एक level ऊपर का हम लोग mention कर सकते हैं इसमें. Okay. Limitations वो हुआ. Another limitation can be that the participants backed out in the middle, few of them. We can tell that also in the limitation. For example, हम लोग ने 120 लिया, but उसमें से 20 people backed out over a period. कि भाई intervention पूरा complete नहीं हो पा रहा उनसे. We can write that also. Implications. Implications are another important thing because अगर हम लोग ये research कर रहे हैं उसका कोई implication होना चाहिए future लोगों के लिए. For the common people also, someone who wants to increase self-esteem or self-efficacy, they will read this research and try the intervention. That is the future implication. Okay. Insomnia किसी को दूर करना है तो they will try this yogic intervention. Future research directions. Right now we spoke about self-efficacy or self-esteem and insomnia. In the future they can take hypersomnia. They can take social anxiety, whatever, weight loss, anything they can take. That is what will come in future research direction. What is the next step that they can take in this? References will be in certain format. एक APA format होता है, American Psychological Association है उसका नाम. वही format में references आते हैं. Even Somaya accepts that. And appendix जो है उसमें हम लोग वही डालेंगे as I told, whatever tools we have used, whatever tables were there, all of that. And yes, that's about that. This is the basic idea कि research करना कैसे है. Okay, so first, like एक summary करेंगे हम लोग उससे पहले. First, we find out what variables we want to choose. Whatever you are interested in. No one should come and tell you that you do this research. Okay. इसके बाद एक problem statement बना के रखना है. After that, start writing the introduction, review of literature, and write the method as well. And by that time, start your intervention as well. By the time your intervention is over, you can analyze your you can analyze your results, write the discussion कि result में क्या क्या मिला हमें, and after that this conclusion and everything comes. Okay, so doing a research is not a very difficult task. Just finding the topic is, and अपना writing अच्छा होना चाहिए. The way we are writing, our language should be good. Yes, Sejal ji.
Do we have word limit in this research
Uh,
paper?
Yes. So it usually depends on university to university. I think Somaya has 60 words, not very sure. My previous university where I had done was more than 60. उसका कोई limit नहीं था, but I think our sir expected more than 100 and 120 pages. So depends from like university to university as of now. और आपका खुद का research है तो I think वो Google पे check करना पड़ेगा. I have not actually done any research on my own. If anyone knows, they can say. Otherwise, we'll have to search on Google. Okay. Usually, online हम लोग जब research पढ़ते हैं, around 9-10 pages के रहते हैं, including references. So, कुछ 1200 words पकड़े आप. 1200 is very less actually. I think 2500-3000 पकड़िए. Like, not very sure honestly. I wouldn't give the wrong. Yes, Prem, बताइए.
So, like I had Rishikesh sir for yoga therapy also.
हाँ.
Really, he will tell you everything. So he will tell you the format also because he is also a published researcher.
Right.
He will tell us everything, including how many words he wants or how many pages he wants and things like that. So that is something that we don't need to worry about.
Yeah. So the format and the word limit usually differs from university to university. And we will have this thing in the next semester also. They will teach us कि उनको क्या चाहिए. RM research methodology का एक पूरा subject है हमें Sem-3 में. So we need not worry. हम लोग को I'm just telling this so that कुछ alien जैसा ना लगे when you're reading research papers. Okay. So that's about that.
Dhwani, when you spoke about hypothesis, so you explained directional, non-directional, and correlation. The null. What about null?
Yeah. All right. I think I missed on that. So null hypothesis मतलब क्या? अभी for example, we are not able to prove that yoga has effects on insomnia or self-esteem. Okay, by one person. Participants ही ऐसे आ गए कि उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा. Okay. So that time we will not say that we couldn't prove or something. We'll say we accept the null hypothesis. Because at that time our hypothesis was that yogasan will have a significant positive difference on insomnia, self-esteem, right? So that time we couldn't prove it. So we'll say we accept the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis का मतलब यही है कि उसका opposite. Okay. All right. Is that clear? कुछ उसमें question है? All right. संगीता बघवी जी आपका unmute है.
राइटिंग में चाहिए.
हेलो
ध्वनि.
या
ये टाइपिंग करके नहीं दे सकते, राइटिंग में ही.
नहीं ये टाइपिंग ही है उनका. रिसर्च पेपर जो लिखेंगे हम लोग वो टाइप करके ही देना रहेगा. Like at least in my previous university we typed the whole thing. Written कोई नहीं लेता है.
हाँ, लाइब्रेरी में इसका है ना, एमए का जो लाइब्रेरी में मिलेगा.
ब्रेक हो रहा है. Am I the only one who can't hear her?
में बहुत सारे है.
Hello. Hello. Is anyone talking or did I disconnect?
I think she got disconnected. We can hear you.
All right. Any other questions? कुछ unclear है, like this is something very short I've made just for basic understanding, honestly. All right. If y'all don't have any questions, so okay.
What can we refer, Dhwani, to understand better the research methodology? Do we have any books like?
So actually, I have a hard copy of a book, but if I find any soft copy, I'll share across. Yes, there are books. Now sampling method, one topic I forgot. How will you find the participants? Okay, there are ways of finding participants. One is purposive sampling, which is usually preferred. You know that this person can be a fit to your criteria. You will contact that person. मतलब वो adolescent है, वो प्रॉपर है, फीमेल है, चाहिए आपको, यू विल सेंड द क्वेश्चनर टू हर और आस्क हर टू कम फॉर द इंटरवेंशन. ओके, देयर इज अनदर स्नोबॉल सैम्पलिंग. स्नोबॉल सैम्पलिंग में क्या होता है, मैंने 2 लोगों को दिया, वो 2 लोग और 2 लोग को देंगे, तो वो लोग 4 लोग हो गए. वो 4 लोग जो नए हैं वो और लोगों को भेजेंगे. सो एक के बाद एक. That is very unlikely these days because no one really has the time of sharing it across. Okay, but that is one method. There are other ways also कि वो lottery system से जैसे था randomized control के लिए, that is one way. So this was one thing. And regarding the book, I will see if मेरे पास जो hard copy है उसका soft copy online available है कि नहीं, so that you all can refer to it because it's really important. I think I had a PDF of Sumaya only from a senior. तो अगर मुझे वो भी मिल जाएगा तो I'll share that thing with you. है ना? So at least वो जो terms है, you can keep reading, वो clear होते जाएगा because dissertation is going to be a task. From now on, if you'll start reading research papers, you will come across a topic. Okay?
Okay.
All right. If you all have any queries, you all can ping me or put it up on the group. Anyone can answer it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Dhwani, thank you so much.
Just 1 second. Let me see if I didn't miss out on anything.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. Everyone's clear with review of literature? I can't see anyone on the screen because I've opened something to refer my notes where.
Are you asking if we are clear?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Review of literature, मतलब concept समझा ना? Oh yes, I was supposed to show a few things, right? Yeah. Just 1 second. I'll do one thing. I'll share it on the group. जो मेरे पास जो questionnaire है ना, उसका subscale जो दिखाना था, because it won't load I think right now क्योंकि मेरा laptop has got limited resources right now. So that's about that. All right. If you have any queries, let me know. Okay.
हाँ ध्वनि, मैं
Thank you,
वही बोल रही थी. ध्वनि,
हाँ बोलिए.
हाँ, मैं क्या बोल रही थी, लाइब्रेरी में इसका है ना, लास्ट ईयर के बच्चों ने जो डाला हुआ ना ऐसे रिसर्च का.
हाँ.
बहुत सारा है, लाइब्रेरी में है.
हाँ, so वहां से आप लोग पढ़ सकते हो research as like library will have lots of people का researches. Okay, so if you find anything that interests you, take it and read it how they conducted it. You all don't have to read the whole research word to word. Read the abstract, read the procedure how they did. कुछ intervention रहेगा तो वो ध्यान से पढ़ो कि कैसा था. Read the discussion mainly क्योंकि उसमें results का भी बात आ जाता है. And read their future research directions. उसमें से you might get a topic that you want to take. Maybe that they couldn't cover. Okay, these are a few things that you should read. All right, if there are no other questions, we can call it a day.
आपको और कुछ दिखाना था ना कि बस वो फाइल और लोड नहीं हो रही वही है और भी
हाँ,
कुछ था
बस
शायद.
वो फाइल वही है जो लोड नहीं हो रही है. मिलेगा तो as soon as it loads I'll share it on the group. Okay.
ध्वनि मैं थोड़ी डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो गई थी, थोड़ा डिस्ट्रैक्शन था स्टार्टिंग में, मतलब आई वाज ट्रैवलिंग एंड देन आई केम, थोड़ा सा मतलब मैं सुन रही थी, बट आई विल अगेन लिसन टू द रिकॉर्डिंग एंड देन गेट बैक अगर कुछ है तो क्वेरी. अच्छा यू कैन स्टॉप. हाँ
I'll stop recording अभी.
Dhwani, thank you so much. I'm leaving the room.
Thank you, Dhwani.
विनोद, वेलकम. जस्ट 1 सेकंड. विनोद जी, आप रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप कर देंगे ताकि आपके क्लाउड पे वो चला जाए.
नहीं, आप करेंगे तो भी जाएगा, क्योंकि मैं तो होस्ट नहीं हूँ अभी.
अच्छा,
और मैं
ओके.
बहुत बार बीच में